Yo! Thanks for tuning in to the inaugural episode of Storytime with Uncle Zap. First story is called Somewhere in West Virginia. So, I go visit my buddy Coop at Slippery Rock for the weekend, and Tanner meets us there, and, you guys don't know them. They're my best friends from JUCO. And, we ran into my old friend Evan Williams and some $4 pitchers of Miller Lite, and we had a weekend as you would want and as anyone would. So I'm driving home Sunday, beautiful day, just enjoying the drive, and, I get to this little stretch where I gotta get off the thruway and, get to the other one, and I go to this red light, and light turns green, and I hit my gas, and the car doesn't go. So right away, I'm like, what the fuck? I look down, and I realize, my car is off. So real quick, I try and turn the car off and turn it back on, and it, won't turn. So I flip my hazards on, and I try one more time, and it won't go. And, as you can imagine, at this point, I'm freaking the fuck out, as anyone would, right? So I call 911, and I get, 911, what's your emergency? And I'm like, hey, I'm not in any danger here. My car broke down in the middle of the road and won't turn back on, so I just need you to send a cop out here to direct traffic. And she's like, okay, where are you? And I'm like, I don't know. And she's pissed. And she's like, well, what do you see? And I'm looking around, and I'm like, mountains. So she's like, all right, well, you got to stay on the phone until we can trace your location. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Now, just let me put this, image in your head of what's going on here. It's a 2-lane road. I'm basically in the intersection in a car that looks perfectly fine and have a complete stoppage in traffic in my lane. Nobody can fucking get anywhere. As you can imagine, everybody behind me's fucking pissed by this point. People are honking at me, yelling at me. And I'm just yelling back at them, I don't know what to do. So I'm just yelling, hey, go around. And, they got nowhere to go. And people are still yelling at me, so I just yelling, hey, sometimes she goes, sometimes she don't go. That's just the way she fucking goes. I don't know what you want me to do about it, And after what, felt like was a really fucking long time, this cop finally comes, and I'm like, all right, sick, I'm saved from these people. The cop comes up, and he's like, all right, kid, just put your car in neutral and get it off to the side of the road. And I'm like, dude, do you really think I wouldn't have put my car in neutral and, got it off this road if I fucking could have? And he's like, well, what's wrong with it? And, we talk, and he tells me to get out of the car and goes to direct traffic. Now, I'll remind you here that it's Sunday, so I'm wearing my Zubaz Bills pants and my Bills jean jacket. And, all these people are finally getting around me, and I can just see them all looking at me, and they're fucking pissed. And I can just see in their eyes, they're all saying, God, these asshole Bills fans we see on Twitter really do exist. So long story short, they get the chief of the fire department to come, and he tows my car out of the middle of the road. And, you guys all know me. I'm a pretty friendly guy, so I'm trying to make friends with him. And before I get one word into this guy, he tells me 3 things about him. 1, he made a lot of money in his day, but drank it all away. So I'm like, fuck away she goes, 2, he once met the man with the golden fiddle. That's Charlie Daniels for all you uncultured fucks that don't know. And I'm like, cool, fuck yeah. Hit me with your best story right away. Like it. And then 3, he's like, yeah, and I got my pistol permit. I got my gun in my car. So after that one, I'm like, yep, I think someone's calling me. So I get away from him, and I'm like, Tanner, can you come pick me up? And I got to stop right here and give those guys a shout out because they did drive 2 hours like it was nothing to come pick me up and let me stay. And nobody complained, not even Shayna. And seriously, I love all you guys because, God knows what would have happened if I got abducted in that fucking place. But anyways, somewhere in there I called AAA. I don't think I forgot to say that. But Cody and Tanner come, and this guy leaves, and, then the AAA guy shows up. And so, AAA guy here, he looks just about exactly what a AAA driver, tow truck driver in some place in West Virginia, you would picture him to look. Big dude in overalls with a monster lip in, was probably a hell of an offensive lineman in his day. And he comes up and he's like, all right, kid, where are we taking her? And I'm like, well, how much would it be to take her back to school? And he plugs it in his phone and he's going, 5 miles free, $4 a mile. Yup, that'll be about $1,100. And I'm like, well, that one's a hard no. So is there anywhere maybe within the 5 free miles? And he's like thinking, and he says, well, Old Teeter's pretty good. So at this point, I'm like, fuck it. Old Teeter sounds pretty fucking good to me. Now, we show up at this place, and it just looks like a fucking junkyard. So right away, we're like, nice. And so I go up, and, I'm looking around, and I'm trying to find a drop box or something to put my keys in. And I didn't find one of those. But right next to the front door, there was a crate full of empties. So, now I'm like, yep, this is the guy I want working on my car. And I end up leaving the keys under my floor mat, and I call the number on the sign, figuring, I'll just leave this guy a message and tell him what happened. He'll get it when he comes in the morning, and it rings. And I get this message like, this number has no answering machine set up. So I'm like, oh, this is a nice business, sweet. So next morning at 9 when he opens, I give him a call and I, tell him what happened. And I'm like, you think you can look at my car sometime tomorrow? And he's like, yep, I'll get to it. I'll call you right after I get her, whatever. And, I wait all day. Now it's like 4:50. He closes in 10 minutes and I haven't heard from this guy all fucking day. And I call him back, and he answers the same way he did the first time. He's like, Old Teeter. And I'm like, hey, this is the kid who called earlier. Did you get a chance to look at my car? And this motherfucker says, swear to God, this guy says, yup, kid, I'm going to be honest with you here. I got no fucking clue what's wrong with your car. So I'm like, what do I do? And he's like, well, if I was you, I'd just come get her and take the risk, try and take her home. And, somehow, by the grace of God, we got home. And to this very day, this old car starts when she wants to, don't when she don't. And that's just the fucking way she goes. Thanks for listening, everybody. I get another one ready for you guys next week. Fuck the Browns. I hope you guys all had a fucking hell of a Saturday last night. And go Bills, baby. Yo!